Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called Hell is High Water, written by Shane Watson. I do sound a bit nasally in this. I am recovering from quite a bad flu, but, the show must go on. Anyways, I hope this is still enjoyable to you. If there was one place in the universe that could be a literal hell, eternal damnation, perdition, Tim had found it, and had found himself assigned there. The air clung to him. The unfamiliar sense put his mind off kilter. The ever-shifting surface beyond the rocky promontory where he now stood left him dizzy. Ted turned around to face the building that would be his home for as long as the assignment lasted. The steady structure and solid ground around and behind it helped ease his vertigo. He grabbed the handle on his luggage, activating its hover mode, and stepped towards the building. He'd been assured that everything had been set up for his comfort prior to his arrival. But he had serious doubts. Not a bit of heat was evident from the building, despite the chill. As he approached, the cameras around the property caught his image. The building recognized him, opening the front door with a mechanical voice saying, "Welcome, Professor, to Otter," in his own language. The heat inside was near blinding and most welcome. He hurried in, the door closing behind him. "Thank you, building. I'm the house's AI assistant. You may refer to me as House, or you may choose the name to refer to me as. Do you wish to choose the name for me?" the House asked. No. House is fine. The current temperature inside is 40 degrees Celsius. Humidity is 12%. If you require any adjustments to either, let me know," the House said. No, this is perfect." Tan took a deep breath, the feeling of his scales drying and warming revitalizing him. "Dr. Sarah Anderson from the university is here to see you," the House said. "Should I let her in?" Tam flicked his tail in acknowledgement. Nothing happened. "Yes," he said, flicking his tail in the same way. "This means yes." "I remember that," the House said, as the door opened. Sarah stepped in, dressed in a full-body cooling suit. "Dr. Aota, you here?" she called out. Tess switched to speaking English. "Coming!" He met Sarah in the entryway. "Pleasure to finally meet you in person," she said. "Likewise. I believe the proper thing to do when welcoming a human into the home is to offer something to drink?" he asked. "Very rude in my culture." "This is your home while you're here, and you determine what is rude and not rude for yourself." Sarah gave a little nod. "That said, I'll be certain to not offer you or any other Garians a beverage when you visit my home. I do endeavor to be a good host, after all." "I do wish to be a good host." Tess switched to his native language. "House, is there a human beverage available in your storage?" "I can prepare a glass of ice water in the dining room if you like," the House answered in the same language. Sarah chimed in, speaking Tess language. "That is accepted," then switched back to English. "Yes, please." "I did not know you speak Otralak, Dr. Anderson." Tess stepped into a dining room and used the insulated mitt to pick up the cold glass and hand it to Sarah. "Just a few phrases, but I expect I'll learn more as we work together." She drank down half the glass of water. "Please call me Sarah, and I call you Te." "Yes, you may. Shall we sit?" Sarah followed him into the living room. It had been fitted with furniture that was suitable for humans or Garians. Ted turned one of the chairs so it faced away from the picture window that looked out to the sea that took a seat. Sarah sat in a chair near it, facing both Ted and the window. He motioned towards the window with his tail. "The constant movement, I don't know if I'll ever get used to it." "I understand. I was raised on a ship and never saw an open body of water until I went to university. The constant movement gave me vertigo. Even just a breeze across the tall grass was unsettling at first. Now I find the waves calming." "If you say so, I will see with time, I suppose." "We replaced the environmental systems in this house, upgraded insulation and materials to handle the temperatures without softening or sagging, adding dehumidifiers and sandpath. Is it to your liking?" "Very much. I was not expecting such generosity for a visiting professor," he said. "We, a bunch of faculty, got together and demanded it. When we offered to put the CFO up in a tent in the Death Valley on Earth, she relented and released the funds to make it happen. This house is only the first, though, as all the guest houses are being refitted. It can be set up for any humidity, from 5% to 95%, and anywhere from 5 to 50 degrees Celsius." Te was stunned. "That is a large investment just to make visitors more comfortable." The university is focused on bringing in more diverse educators from more worlds. That's kind of a good thing about setting up in a terraformed world in the middle of nowhere, Sarah smiled. Is this a university you attended? Sarah shook her head. No. I went to Swansea University on Earth. How about you? This is my first trip off-world, he said. I grew up in the capital of Otto and went to the Crallo Crim. So you've never seen an ocean? Only in media, until the shuttle dropped me off today. What's your first impression? His tail swished in nervous response. I thought I'd landed in a lucklet, closest to what you would call hell. He forced his tail to stillness. I hope to understand why humans choose to cover the majority of the worlds with water when you are land dwellers. Well, our combined environmental engineering course should make that clearer, just as I expect to learn how the environment in Otto works with so little water. Ter pushed himself forward slightly with his tail. Then we'll learn as we teach how to mold the worlds of our respective kinds. There is, though, one thing our course doesn't cover that I'd like to learn. What's that? Ter rocked himself with his tail and pointed at it. How do you humans stay upright and move about so well without a tail to balance? I'll recommend some kinesiology books for you, although I often wish our ancestors hadn't ditched their tails. Oh, have you tried out your environmental suit? No, I'm not even sure how to hook it up. I'll walk you through it. They spent an hour going over all the details of his warming suit, from putting it on, setting the temperature and humidity, and taking it off, charging it up and checking for damage. In the end, he knew more about the warming suit than he thought would be involved in creating his own. When they finished, he sat on the floor and noticed the sound he hadn't heard before, a rhythmic swish of the waves. Why can I hear the water? I turned on the external mics, Sarah said. Just close your eyes and listen to it. It's soothing, isn't it? As long as I don't think about what it is, yes. Sarah sat next to him on the floor and turned him, his eyes still closed, until he was facing the window. When you look, just think of it as watching a hollow, she said. That was what I did from inside my dorm window until I got used to the movement of the water and grass. Tim opened his eyes and looked out at the waves, steady, rhythmic, rolling. He put his hands on the floor and felt centered, with no dizziness. He took a deep breath from the warm, dry air of his new home. I might find the appeal, he said, unless the water gets high. Won't happen here, she said, with a hint of sadness. Gravity is too low, and the moons are too small to make really spectacular tides. The greatest difference between high tide and low tide is around 10 centimeters. Knowing that helps. I saw hollows of humans riding giant waves and boards. It was horrifying. You said the space was like your hell. What is your hell, anyway? Ter watched the waves with a newfound interest. If you live an evil life, you're sent to a world covered with icy water. You never get to swim, you stay sluggish and slow, and your scales soften until they're in danger of sloughing off with the slightest touch. Sarah whistled. That's rough. We have a saying about doing something regardless of the situation. It's come hell or high water. But that would be redundant for you, wouldn't it? End of story. Again, I apologize for the state of my voice today. Hopefully tomorrow it'll be vastly improved. Thank you for sticking around, and hope you have a good day. Cheers. I'd greatly like to thank our Tier 5 channel members, Casper Arnholtz, John Creighton, Manatharia, 050, Dragzoon WRE, and Elijah Silvercross. Thank you very much.